Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattletales from Tales from the Vector. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. This is a collective or general reading, so just be aware that parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and leave the rest. I already washed and shuffled the cards. I'm just going to give them one more quick cut. Oh, here comes my help. This is my cat. Okay, Stella, you came running. Are you ready to go to work? Are you going to be a pain in the butt? Which is it going to be? So the underlying energy for this reading is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is a symbol of, it's an archetype basically for justice and for authority figures, traditional structure. So the Hierophant is about traditional structure in the spiritual realm as well as in the physical. And you can see there's two monks here, and they've got tenure. That's when they shave their heads on the crown so that they can receive the information on a high level. And so the Hierophant has his hand in the form of a blessing. So the blessing usually comes from justice on the both physical and on the spiritual realm. Okay, and so for the first card we have, we have regret of some sort. I just want to make sure that that's in the right place. Stella, I think you bumped my camera. Okay, I just want to make sure that this is centered properly because the cat bumped my camera. There we go. Otherwise, you might not be able to see the top of the reading. Sorry about that. She was so excited. She came and jumped on here and knocked the camera. So we have, are you happy about this reading? Eh? So we have the Five of Cups, which talks about regret. It's crying over spilt milk. So the spilt milk is actually spilt wine. But so it sometimes can actually be a symbol that someone no longer has a taste for wine, and so they've given up an addiction of some sort or overcome that. But more commonly, it represents like something happened and you had a loss, and you're focused on the loss instead of what you still have. And so this person has 3 cups spilled here, but there's 2 cups behind him. So he needs to turn around, and you need to get down, Stella. It's not working. No, you go on. Oh, you're not going to leave, huh? Okay. So she's stubborn today. She's been like, all of a sudden she's decided she has to be here to participate with every reading. So she can feel some sort of energy coming in that she likes. So this energy is like this person could turn around, take the 2 cups that are left standing, and there's a bridge over there. It could cross the troubled waters here and just move forward to the castle in the background. So this is saying be grateful and appreciate what you have, and then you hold still, little girl. If you want to sit on my lap, you're going to have to be good. Go to sleep. Be a nice little kitty. So the Magician comes in now, and the Magician is like an energetic upgrade, saying you have the tools that you need here to be able to move forward. He's got them on the bench. He's got the infinity symbol above his head here, and that represents infinite potential from heaven down to earth. So this is about the Hierophant energy again also. And this is talking about being able to bring what you want to manifest down to earth. We have the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is coming in with a message. This is communication. And the Knight of Cups is your typical knight in shining armor. And quite often the Knight of Cups actually represents love, like romantic love, but it can also represent something you love to do, something you want to be, that you love to be, that kind of energy. And so the Knight of Cups is like, he's not in a hurry. He's going along at a good trot here, bringing in the communication. In the old days, this would have always been like a male, but usually at least 21 years of age or older, and it sort of represents someone that's in an apprenticeship. So it could be like someone that's delivering a message from someone else, so about a cup of love or something you love. And the energy is, this could be a female, because in the old days the knights were always male, but nowadays it could be a female, and it's not necessarily going to come in, the information come in on a horse. It's more likely to come in from a letter, an email, a phone call, a text, a social post, something like that. And then we have the Ace of Cups. And so I do feel that this is actually representing some sort of romantic love. The Ace of Cups usually means that there's a gift coming in from the universe, from God, like it's a divinely guided romance. Or it could still be a partnership that you want to do, like that you want to do business with. And it could be some sort of justice from the Hierophant, because you lost something, maybe unfairly, or just through whatever. But this quite often does represent a divine partner. And it's a gift from God and the universe. And look at this. You're highly gifted right now. This is a good way to be. So this is, okay, not only are you going to have love, but you're also going to have money, health, wealth, prosperity, abundance on the earth in every form. So this is indicating like having really loving relationships and probably divine romance coming in. And you also are going to have a lot of abundance because you've stayed on your path. This path here is leading under the laurel there and leading into the distance. This indicates, like it's golden here, that you have followed your path. This is a reward for following your North Star, which is your purpose in life, your divine mission, why you came here. And this energy here, I just am noticing too, like this is like the water, like it's never-ending flow. So this is a never-ending love. Like this is a love that's going to last. Wow, this is a nice energy to have come in. And then we have the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands represent actions taken. They could be actions that were taken in the past, right now, or in the future. And these represent like passion, moving forward, especially with this energy here. This can also be conception. So it's kind of that, it could be an actual conception of a pregnancy, but it could also be like the beginning stages of something that is coming into being. And all of the actions, the wands to have this work out have been launched already, and they're about to land in divine timing. Look at that. And then we have another communication coming in. And now this is the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is generally someone between the age of 7 and 14. I feel in this instance, like the Page of Cups would start working for the king, doing small tasks and just small communications, etc. And then if they were good enough, they would, when they grew up, they were like 21, they could, if they could afford a horse, then they would be allowed to be a knight. And this energy, so it's talking, I feel, about this Knight of Cups when they were younger. And when they were younger, they were interested in a particular fish. And I feel like that's the waters here. It's very similar. And you notice like this, he's totally focused on this fish. He knows there's plenty of fish in the sea. And, you know, the knight in shining armor can probably have many a date. But he's focused on this one fish. And it could have been someone that he met when he was younger or some time ago. And it didn't it didn't happen. So this could be like a second chance for a romance, or it could be like someone that he knew from childhood, and then, you know, you bump into each other. You could be this Knight of Cups. Remember, this is an archetype. So this could be a female or a male. And so you could be this Knight of Cups delivering it, or maybe a Knight of Cups is coming in. And it feels like this energy feels like maybe at one time they just thought, wow, I'm not going to involve myself with someone that that I grew up with. Like, I want to expand my horizons, and it didn't work out so well, and they regret not just going with it, like going with it, you, or being like focusing on that one cup. Or it can just be like, okay, you didn't even, when you're younger, you're, and your children or whatever, and you meet, or you're in high school age or whatever, that you're just, you go off to college, whatever, and now maybe you've bumped into each other or something. We're talking, there's this energy here now is the 10 of Wands. And the 10 of Wands represents someone that has planted a lot of seeds, like for growth. They've taken a lot of actions in their life, and now some of those have become burdensome. So there's some form of regret here about some actions taken. And like there's 10 here and there's 8 here with this new divinely guided energy. And so this could be like, just put down 2 of these are things you've planted, and they might be burdensome and heavy because you, you planted, the seeds, and now the fruit is there, and that makes it heavier. These can be, but sometimes I feel like it's this energy here, because this energy here is there's some burdens in here that he thought were going to be like, or they thought were going to be like something that was really awesome, and it turned out not to be what they wanted. But they're almost home, and they have the option to put some of the wands down. They can't see that. Like, it's kind of like being like so focused on getting home and getting to where you want to go that you don't recognize that you could put some of this burdens down. You could go back to your home and then come back and get half, like do it half, like he's so close. So basically though, this is saying keep going, don't quit, you're almost there. And then this here is about this action I feel went into place because something happened here, and this person recognized this is it feels like something profound enough that the universe is handing you like 2 beautiful, huge blessings here because of what happened here, whatever that was. And you've decided that you don't want to, you're leaving the rough waters, like all the chaos and everything, and you're moving on to like smooth, calm waters. And this represents moving on to clear and calm waters to a new horizon here. And you're on your journey with God. And this means this energy, I feel, is that you really had to dig deep since you were a child. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up here. Because this pole, he has to push it into the bottom there to be able to move this boat, right? And so you've had to dig deep to get it, and now you're being rewarded for staying on your path, even though it was challenging. And it seems like you've at least been staying on this path since you were between 7 and 14. And, the nights could be like someone that's like in their, like 21 to like 35, 40, that kind of energy. That's usually the kind of energy. But it's not so much about age, it's more about stage of life. Like what would a 7 to 14-year-old be doing, and what would a young 21-year-old doing? It's kind of being in that energy. And now we have the Page of Swords comes in. So the Page of Swords, again, is someone that's delivering a message. And, it's like, okay, so there was some money that came in, or some form of abundance came in because you kept going. And you made it, like you didn't quit. And now, because you didn't quit, this money came in, and now there's going to be this cup of love coming in. That's what it is. I'm building a pyramid here. So this bottom row is the what you have at your disposal right now to be able to get this blessing from the Hierophant. And this row here is the obstacles that you're going to come up against, or how are you going to manifest this. And so the Page of Swords is coming in now and saying, okay, now that you accepted this offering and you have the abundance that you need, you're going to have a calmer life. And now this Page of Swords is saying the communication's coming in, that now you are going to also get this Ace of Cups. Like, be on the lookout here for that love energy, because this is about romance here. And the Page of Swords, he's holding his sword, but he's not looking at it. And he's the only page that's not really focused on the element that he represents. So he's looking forward to the future, and he's really already, he's given it all the thought that's required. He went off, and communed with God, prayed, meditated, made this decision, made it through all of this more hardship energy, and now he knows that he's just got to keep an eye out for the future. Who is this person that's coming in for his future? And we have the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands has been coming up a lot. We're moving into from a 2025 into 2026. So we're really moving from like a 9 cycle into a 1 cycle. So the energy is, okay, this is over. This is behind me. So he might have put 2 wands down and decided, you know what? Or he might have put all of those wands down, but there's 8 coming in. So I feel like he put 2 wands down, and they were the things that were bothering him the most, him, her. And now he's leaving those behind, and he's moving forward with this new way of being, with this new action. And that's represented there. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles represents someone who was left out in the cold. Like, this is like being separated from someone or something that you loved or wanted. So it could be there could have been something that happened to someone that he really wanted to be with. And we have 3 cups here. So it might have been that, the person that you or they wanted was already in a relationship with someone else and had committed to someone else. And the regret is that he didn't ask you out first, or you didn't ask them out first, kind of energy. And so this is talking about really feeling, and this is sitting on the Knight of Cups and the Magician, like asking God for a second chance with this person is what I'm getting. And this energy is saying, yeah, it has to be either this or that kind of energy. It's someone who has kind of a closed mind. This is the only way they're going to be happy, is if they have this one person. And that's kind of a dangerous place to be in sometimes, because you have to be whole within yourself before you can really attract someone that's going to be really whole within you. And at the time I'm doing this reading, I'll have this out just after the full moon, and the full moon is in Gemini. And that's a good time to release this energy, because then the new moon will come in around the 20th of December. And that's when a lot of new stuff happens. So this is saying you need to let go of this or that thinking. You need to expand your horizons. Like, it's not just this or that. There's a third option here, and that's moving forward into the distance. Like, like there's a lot of water here. This is actually land, but it's even like the land is moving, like that kind of energy. Get moving. And then we have the Queen of Swords shows up. And the Queen of Swords, she's sitting on her throne, and she's facing this way. She's facing, okay, this is what happened in the past. And she's come to some clarity now, this energy. And remember, this could also be a male. This could be the same person, like the same energy. But knights actually and pages work for royalty. So I feel like it's the page and the knight are different people from the queen. So that could be someone, and remember, the queen though could be a male in his feminine energy. So she's got her hand reaching out. So it shows that she's willing to receive. Sometimes this Page of Swords can indicate, and also the Knight of Cups can indicate an apology. So maybe she's willing to accept an apology or whatever, and she's willing to give it a second chance. she's saying, you better come in correct or don't come in at all. Her head is above the clouds, though. She's given this enough thought. And she's single because there's only that one little bird in the background, and the face cards for the swords have little flocks of birds in the background, and you'll notice like here there's a whole big flock of birds because he's younger and swinging. It reminds me of a golfer, but like he's getting ready to swing his club sort of thing. And she's like, you know, you better not be in this energy when you come into me and ask me, you know, to marry you or to even go out on a date or even go out for a cup of coffee with you because of whatever happened here. So the King of Cups is coming in. So the King of Cups, now we have the Queen of Swords and the King of Cups. So that's the energy. I feel like this is the messenger. Like these are the messengers about this cup of love coming in. The King of Cups is the most emotionally available, and she's looking right at him. He's not really looking at her though. So maybe she was the one, you know? And she's like, you know, hey, do you want to turn around and look at me? Maybe you'll notice me again, kind of energy. It's sort of like that kind of energy. And so the king, he's sitting on the troubled waters though. Like, and he's not troubled at all. He is the most emotionally available. He has a cup of love. He loves himself, and he has some experience in love. And he's not willing to, I feel like, have any more drama or, you know, we have, like, it's like these clouds here are now these clouds here. So it's kind of like the message coming in isn't 100% clear at this point, but she's clear on it. And that could represent one person, the feminine and masculine aspects of one person who is looking at, okay, maybe I'm never going to entertain myself being in love again. I'm just going to move forward and focus on this. But the universe coming in and saying, no, you deserve to have love too. You can have both. And that's that energy, like having, okay, I could have the whole world in my hands here. I could have the pentacles and I can have the cup of love. And I can have everything I've ever wanted. I feel like this is going to require a move of some sort, or making a move is more what I'm getting. And then, yes, juggling the pentacles. So in the past, there may have been some juggling here because it's right on top of this. And you notice the waters in the background. Now he's on firm ground. And I'm getting this is someone that was multitasking. It could have been someone juggling their morals. It could be someone that's just really super busy and maybe wasn't interested in love or whatever. He was more interested in the pentacles, and also was willing to take a gamble that this person would still be there when they were more, like, less in this energy, you know, of a younger person that wants to go out and about more, experience life some more. Yeah, and then we have the Five of Swords, which is similar to this card. So it's like, I feel like this is saying, I've cut this energy out. This is not where I'm at anymore. This was a version of me when I was a page. This is a version of me when I was a knight. But now I'm a grown man. Like I've have a lot of experience. I know I only want, I'm not into this or that. I'm into, like, I've decided what I want when I went off with to calmer shores. I don't want drama. I don't want to be juggling. I want to have a calm life, and I want it to be about love as well as money. I have the money, feels like, or I'm recovering from this loss, whatever that is. But because the universe has come in with this promise. So I feel like I'm ready now to be, like, this is a better version of me that would put this offer forth. Dun, 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 judgment. So yeah, so the judgment is, yeah, you're ready. This is talking about a legacy, like when we're talking about the pentacles and the love, it's like an everlasting. This is something that's going to last. There's ancestors here and there's descendants here. This could represent some sort of hidden energy that was there. And now that's come to light, and it's really shed a lot of light on the situation, or something happened in this person's life that they regret doing or not doing. Sometimes this could be about not doing, and maybe not forgiving or not getting to the bottom of what this really was because the blindfold's there. But this energy is saying that this involves ancestors and descendants. So this is kind of talking about, there could have been a skeleton that came out of the closet. Could be something like that. Yeah, and there was some sort of heartbreak with 3. This is my threesome card. So it feels like this this energy is maybe that this person was in choosing 2 people, and something that you did or that the other person did caused her to choose this over that. And now she wants that over this. The problem with that is that when we have that, then we want this, you know? So there could have been some back and forth and some juggling, you know, of that. And it could have been that she had 2 choices, and one of them was more, represented someone that was more stable financially, is what I'm getting, and was less of a gamble. But this represents, like, well, it speaks for itself, some sort of heartache. And I feel like it was in a love situation. It's sitting right on this cup of love. And it's not speaking about it, like, because it's in the throat here. So I feel like there was some sort of, and this can be threesomes. This could represent threesomes, you know, that kind of energy. Juggling morals, juggling 2 people, that kind of energy. And then we have the 3 here also. So I feel like it was something like to do with that, but it could have been when you were a lot younger also. Yeah, and like this is like a mental prison. So this energy is talking about not wanting to take another step forward because of the heartache. Like just, okay, you know, I'm just going to I'm not going to think about entertaining a new love or anything like that ever again. I'm just going to focus on having a good life without it. I don't need to have that to be happy, and that's a good place to be in. You don't want to need to be in love, but like it is a lot of fun to be in love. And like I feel like this one sword here is this here. So this energy is like, don't approach me if you're in this same foolish energy, because off with your head. Like, she's not into it. Either you come in right, or you don't even phone, don't call, don't do anything unless coming in right. But if you do so, look at that. There we have the fulfillment card, and this is marriage also. So this is about like having passed through the portal of this energy and healing it, and having been able to move forward and see that energy there. It maybe isn't this or that. Maybe this is someone totally new, you know, like that kind of energy, or it's a new life somewhere else, and that's going to be an amazing thing. And that's where you meet someone new. Could be a lot of things, but it is talking about having that abundance in your life, as well as, and that includes not just the pentacles, but having the love of your life. And then this is about intuition. So maybe there was just too much thinking going on. There's a lot of, like, the energy of the swords represents like think. And there's, when you get into this energy, this is about a mental prison, because there's nothing really holding you there except your thoughts. And so this is saying you need to use your intuition as well as your thoughts, so that you can make the strong decision. Like if your heart is saying to you, because this row, like this is, okay, what you have to move forward. This is the obstacles that come up to manifest it. This is having the courage to make the changes that you maybe need to have what's in your authentic desires in your heart. And maybe you were so badly hurt, or the other person was so badly hurt, that they just gave up on having, you know, the love of their life. But now the universe is prompting them like, hey, no, you can have ultimate fulfillment here. And so then the Queen of Cups comes in. So The I feel like this is the same person. The Queen of Cups is not, because the Queen of Swords can come off as being really cold, because she's been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, doesn't need it, and been there, done that, don't need to go through the same old process again. She's maybe become a little bit, not bitter so much, but weathered, kind of is the energy I'm getting. Like she just has accepted that she's going to be an individual and be single because it's easier. It's that kind of energy. So she can come off as being quite cold, but she might have been like the Queen of Cups before. And now this change of energy, because we got the King and the Queen of Cups now. And so maybe now she's softening and she's like, okay, well, maybe I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and I will take this chance with you. That's what the energy, yeah. The wounded warrior. So that represents this energy here. I feel both these people are kind of in that energy, but this could have been very challenging for the Queen, and that's why she's so, because the Queen of Swords out of all of the queens is the most likely to be separated or divorced. And the wounded warrior is talking about these 8 wands way back when you were younger, becoming like burdensome, like having all those dreams and everything that you fought for. You're kind of leaning on the 9th wand there, but you're tired, like you're like, oh, I don't, like I've been through all this. Do I want to go back and take a chance on doing all of this all over again? It's kind of that energy. And then we have the Hangman. So the Hangman is hanging from the tree of knowledge. And this represents getting knowledge from your ancestors and descendants, like learning from your experiences and learning from your ancestors' experiences. He's hanging upside down from the tree and he's not doing anything. He's sitting in his intuition. And until he gets the intuition and the energy that he needs, he's understands, okay, what is it that I really want? Then he'll come down from the tree and move forward, but not until then. He's not going to take any action until he's 100% sure. This could be her, him, both. And then, and we have the Hermit. So the Hermit has gone up to the mountain. He's been hanging there from the tree. And now the Hermit is like, okay, I have this enlightenment. I will come down from the mountain. I will listen to God, to the universe. I will look at the synchronicities and I will accept that, yes, this is a possibility. I could have this fulfillment that I always wanted when I was younger, and I'm willing to give it a try now. I'm willing to come down from the mountain and risk going through all of that again. Yeah. 10 of Swords, end of cycle. So the 10 of Swords looks really scary, but in this case, for sure, this is talking about the end of a cycle, a blessing in disguise. So maybe if the person, like if that happened and there was a threesome or something and it broke your heart, it was better that happened before you settled down and you had children and all of that, because it would have continued to be like that is what's coming up. So all that you learned from that has prepared you now to, because the stronger you are within yourself, the stronger your masculine, the more balanced, and this is about balance, the more balanced your masculine and feminine energy is within yourself, the more likely you're going to attract someone that is also balanced in that way. So it's not like you complete each other, but what you do is you come together and you cause it's like 1 + 1 = infinity, like infinite possibilities, because you're both strong on your own. And this person, although he's been stabbed in the back 10 times, he is also in a position where his hand here is in the same position as the Hierophants, and this represents a blessing. So this was a blessing in disguise, because now you have the maturity to be able to have what you really want and not mess it up if you were the one that did it, or not choose someone that's going to mess things up. And so the regret from the past, being able to come to terms with that is what this feels like. Being kind of cold because of it and just accepting, okay, I'm just going to be single. But then something comes along and it's like, oh, I could have ultimate fulfillment here. Ultimate fulfillment for everybody isn't marriage and a family and all that. But quite often that's what this card does. This could also be other things, you know, if you're not, no, like that's not like resonating with you. It doesn't have to be marriage. It doesn't have to be, it could be a contract that you're signing for a business, or, you know, maybe you're writing a book and it gets published, you know, in the New York Times bestseller list, that kind of energy. And then the High Priestess, this takes your intuition, and you have to be on your divine path to have received this gift from the universe and from God. And it's because you took the time after all this happened to really figure out who you are and go and commune, pray, meditate. And now you're at the top here, and it's the end of that cycle. And now the blessing from the Hierophant is coming in. And you can come down from the tree. You're enlightened now. And sometimes I feel like this is what it's saying. You notice the blindfold is off now in this energy here. She's blindfolded. It's off now. It's up above his head, so he can see now. So, do you notice how similar these cards are? Like they're actions that were taken in the past, I'm getting. That are causing the regret. And he's leaning on this one close to his heart, and she's thinking about this one that's ahead of her. This is the one thought that's going to move her forward. So that's really cool energy. So the judgment has come in. The judgment is that, you know, you have stayed on your path, you've done the work, and you deserve this second chance at love and prosperity, and that you've made a choice for yourself that this, okay, I'm going to move forward. This was how I was in the past. Now I'm going to be this version of me, which is a better version, which is really the purpose we all come on earth to, is to be a better version of ourselves, be the best version you can be of yourself. And then you attract other people who are also in that energy, putting down any burdens because you're so close. You've been on your path. And this, I feel like, is just, it doesn't necessarily represent a particular person, but it represents the potential, you know, for having this cup of love energy as well as what you want. So that's pretty cool. If you're enjoying this, please do give it a like and maybe give me a comment and let me know what you think. And I also, I'm going to just clarify this now with my oracle cards. And my oracle is Tales from the Vector, TAILS. I have a website with all the paintings. There's 64 of them that I started in 2007 and completed all the paintings in 2020. The cards have been out and about at my at psychic fairs and seminars of mine. But now I have all the paintings done in 2020 when I finished them. There's 64 of them. And I am getting ready to write the information and put the actual deck out, which is I'm really excited about doing. I'm going to give it enough time that I'm sure that I know I'm satisfied with the information I provide. And I will have in the description box below the numbers. That's what I have on these cards. Just shuffling here. I've already shuffled and washed these cards, but I want to tune into this energy to clarify here and just see what's going on here. My oracle cards have been pretty, like, they're happy to be out and about. So anyway, this will be in the description box below, and whatever cards come up, I will put the numbers in the order they appear in this reading, and you can go look them up at talesfromthevector.com, TAILS, fromthevector.com, if you feel like doing so after. And okay, are we ready to go here? So the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck is the Emperor. So this is someone that's sitting on the Hierophant. So it's an energy, I feel like the Emperor is like all four kings rolled into one. And I just feel like the blessing is like more of on a spiritual realm. And the Emperor is all about performance on the physical. And I feel like this is the energy that you're embracing to be able to move forward in your life. This is a choice you've made that you want to be the best that you can be so that you can attract the best that you can, so that you can have the best life, which is an awesome, very mature way to look at things. Okay, so there was something about pride. There is the karmic space of pride, which we can all fall into. I feel like your pride or someone else's pride was hurt. And it caught, I feel like on some level, I feel like this may have been the male aspect of this, if it was like a typical married couple. And I feel that it could have been like, a lot of times people don't realize, like, young women, they tend to be really emotional and all that, but young men quite often, when they fall in love at a real young age, especially like young teenage age, 15, 16, they can fall really hard, and it can take a long time for them to recover, because a lot of times young men are taught not to express their emotions and to hold everything in. And I feel like sometimes you'll see that where young men will get like really hurt, and it takes them a long time to recover. The intention, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and that's kind of what I feel like, that this energy, I don't feel like there was bad intentions. I feel like there was immaturity, that kind of energy. Things not working out the way you intended them to. And this is coming up. This is like about Sagittarius energy is really expansive. It's someone that wants to get out there into the world and explore and have adventures. And that's what young people, it's advisable to do that before, you settle down, because eventually what they call midlife crisis is because you didn't. And it's not for everybody, but I feel like what could have felt like something that was really like horrible and painful and really challenging to get through and took a lot of time to recover from, which is showing here, was actually a blessing in disguise, because the person that you would have chosen when you were younger to spend the rest of your life with is not the same person that you would choose now, that are more grown up, person, like more, okay, I'm ready to settle down, that kind of energy. And then lack of awareness. Okay, so we have a lot of karma being cleared here. And this is like, speaking of this energy of the judgment, this could be like maybe your parents were divorced, or maybe one religion was more important than another religion, or you just, like, it's talking about a lack of awareness of how romance really is, and what, if you fell in love at a very young age, 15, 16, like that kind of age, it's rare for those relationships to really work out. It's not like it's possible, that's for sure, because he's focused on this one fish, and he knows there's plenty of fish in the sea, but that's the one he's focused on. But a lot of times young men at that age, like young teenage boys, when they fall in love, that's how they are. And they're very focused on that one fish. Whereas, not all of them, but it happens. Like I've noticed that, like, just through life, seeing, like, when you talk to other people's, I never had sons, but just talking to their mums and stuff, like, oh my God, he fell so hard. Like, he's so hurt. That kind of energy. And then we have Taurus that's coming in. So when I have zodiac signs come up in a general reading like this, sometimes, like, you might recognize some people in here that are of these signs, but a lot of this energy I'm looking at from the perspective of the stage of life. And that's not about age so much, but it's where you're at. You could be 40 years old and be in this energy, because you felt like maybe you didn't know that there was such a thing as love at first sight, and now it hit you for the first time, and now you feel like a young, teenage boy, and you're like 50 years old. That kind of energy. A lot of times we call that midlife crisis, but it doesn't always have to be. And then there's also the energy of, the Taurus is the toddler, and that's kind of like saying, like, you don't have enough life experience to really know what it takes to give and take in a really serious grown-up relationship that's like everlasting love. And then we have the Piscean energy coming in right on the fish here. This can also, like, if it's not about love, it can represent this shift that we made in 2020 where we moved from the energy of Pisces, and we'd been there for a long time, and that was like, it's about authority. This is the way life is done. You know, you go to school, you get good marks. You go to university, you get good marks. You get a good apprenticeship position, or you know, whatever you're doing. You start working, then you meet someone, you get married, you settle down, you have 2 kids, 2 point whatever they say. It might have changed now. These days, you know, you might not be able to afford the down payment for a house if you're in Canada. It's like kind of crazy. But I think that's also shifting. Yes, the Tower, the divorce. So this energy that we're moving into is going to be very different. When you move from a 9-year cycle, that's the way it's always been, traditional, to a more Aquarian energy. It can feel like you're a fish out of water. It's like Pisces is all about you know, the water, and Aquarius energy is all about the air. And you take a fish out of water, well, they're pretty uncomfortable, right? And so that's what the Tower, or there could have been a divorce in this situation, and now because of a threesome or whatever, and now you know, the decision is, because the Queen of Swords quite often is someone who's separated or divorced. Or it could be like in a business, like something just happened, and it just could be like in 2020 when this energy came in. I'll use myself as an example. I was teaching seminars, and I had put all this marketing for years into it, and I was just about to like really bring this out bigger. I'd been like playing, you know, testing the waters, and I had all my programs in place. And when 2020 hit with the mandates, I canceled like 10 of my own events and 12 with other collaborations. And then you were kind of waiting around to see, okay, like it's going to return to the old ways. And event, you know, like in a few months, I'll be able to, like, I didn't cancel them all. I was canceling my events month by month. And then a year and a half later, it's still, nobody is coming to live events still because of the mandates and that. And by that time, your marketing is done, right? So it was like, oh, okay, I can either just be really sad about this or move forward. So I just finished my paintings. I took another course. I took face yoga. Really enjoyed that. Became the first official face yoga instructor in Canada, and kind of move forward in that way. And now I'm taking this out. And it allowed me to have the time to finish my paintings, because they're big paintings. And so I look back on it now. It was really hard. I won't lie to you. It really sucked. But now I look back on it and I think, oh, okay, that was a blessing in disguise in many ways. I learned a lot from it. And then the manifestor comes in, and that's the energy. So it's kind of like sometimes, you know, you could get fired from a job, get divorced, a lot of things could happen. And then you realize, like, when you look back on it a few years later, you're like, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. If that wouldn't have happened, then I wouldn't have done this. At the time, you can't see it, because you're like burdened by your expectations. And let's face it, what happened in 2020 just knocked the socks off of a lot of people, like people who were in the hospitality business, restaurants and stuff. I mean, it was challenging. It was challenging for everybody, but I mean, certain businesses really got hit hard. So the mother's worry. So this is sitting right on being left out in the cold. And so that kind of came up with that energy when I was talking to mums with sons, how it is for their sons when they fall in love and they're young like that. I feel like that's, you know, like a mother's worry is the number one weakness for any child. So if a mother can't see a good, strong future for her child, and then all of this shift is happening, and it's, you know, it's so disruptive, it can be really, you don't, as a mother, we quite often are taught to worry. Like, oh, if we worry, like we're worried about this, we're worried about that with our children. But That's, you may have noticed if you're laying awake at night in bed and you're worrying about your kids, or they went out as teenagers and they aren't home yet and they're late like by a few hours, and you worry. It doesn't make it easier, it makes it worse. And then we have the Gemini. So this, I feel like, has been coming up in a lot of my readings in the last few days. I started doing astrological readings. Just want to say, I did get all of the full moon readings out. The full moon's on December 4th. So there is a reading for every sign. I'm really happy I got that done. I started doing the beginning of the month, mid-month, and the end of month. So I did that as a bonus because the Gemini full moon keeps coming up. And so this energy is about creative solutions versus logic, which has come up quite a bit in here. And it is a Gemini full moon on December 4th. And that's the awesome time to release any leftover sadness or regrets or whatever, and just embrace what you have, be grateful for it, and then move forward and appreciate it. And you may have noticed, like when you talk about appreciate, like gratitude is when you're grateful for something. But lots of times people feel like forced gratitude and they have bad experiences with it, like where you're forced to say thank you, but you really didn't like the gift, or you're, that kind of energy when you're a little kid and like you're really disappointed in the gift, but you say thank you because you're told to. And that, and appreciation is when you are absolutely grateful for something and you also appreciate the value of the gift. Plus, appreciation, when you speak about appreciation in dollar values, that means like you're actually making a return on your investment, whether that investment be in your dollars or that be in your energy. So it's having that gratitude, that appreciation for what has happened and what you learned from it. And that's what this is. The Gemini energy is about learn from whatever happened, learn from your mistakes, learn from those experiences, and then move forward. And the sun is shining. That's the happiest card in the deck. And if you get back on your path, like it's right sitting on this fulfillment, and in between the King of Cups and the Queen of Swords. That's where I feel like God himself stepped in and said, you deserve this. And that energy is in here, right? So it's kind of like making that decision that you want fulfillment and you're worth it. Like you deserve it. And the star comes in again. So this card in my deck is about innocence. It's about choosing to be like a child and go back to more playful ways about life instead of sitting there in regret. Take what you've been left with and pick it up and move forward with that. And if you have the gratitude and you appreciate that, you're going to really be able to move forward and get back on your path. And maybe all of this happened because the whole world was on the wrong path, and the whole 2020 thing became like it happened, and it was actually in 2019 where it started, that the whole world needed a correction to be more grateful of what you have. Then we have the Scorpio energy coming in, and this is about elevating and uniting people or conquering. And so there was a lot of that energy that we learned about also, and it was kind of like the Scorpio energy has like a stinger, like the scorpion has a stinger, and it stung quite a few people. It was challenging energy. And then we have the courage. Do you have the courage to move forward? Like making sure you breathe through it. Like a lot of times when people meditate, they breathe. And so it's talking about that, the solar plexus energy. A lot of times when we are frightened or we're stressed out and we don't know how things are going to work out, we tend to hold our breath. So one of the things that you've got to remember is, hey, remember to breathe. It sounds silly, but if you're only breathing shallow, like all the time, and you're in this like fight or flight, I'm so anxious, it really can affect your health and your well-being in general. And now we have the superstar. So the wounded warrior turns into the superstar because they went up and they did some meditation, prayed to God, sat in that energy, didn't come down from the mountain until, okay, I have no more I'm not going to think about all the difficulties anymore. I'm ready to come down. And this can take time. So don't, don't be hard on yourself if you're going back and forth in this energy. Like nobody knows what you've been through but you. And you have to respect that for yourself first, and then it will come. The healing comes when you choose to heal. That's what this is basically saying. Yeah, because now you can anticipate your journey. You're foolhardy. You're not foolish. You're ready to move on in a really strong way. You're on your path. You're divinely guided. You've learned from all of this, and you're ready to go. I feel like that's the energy. I feel like, and then we have the Hangman here. And so I feel like this is saying, okay, this is possible now. It's time to get up off the mountain. It's time to come down. Like you don't want to isolate yourself for your entire life, because then it would be kind of hard to meet someone, right? And then we have the Aquarius energy. It feels to me like what this is saying, we've moved into the age of Aquarius. It's been like 6 years now, moving into 2006. 2026, sorry. 2025 was an end of cycle, 9 year. And end of that cycle, we're moving into 2026. We're moving into a cycle of new. And it would be beneficial to adopt more of that Aquarian energy, let go of all the emotions from the Pisces era, because it's over now. And we're not going to have this again for a bazillion years. Like we have to go through the entire zodiac to get back to this. The Aquarian energy is already really showing up. Aquarius energy is about experimenting, observe, experiment, double up on what works, let go of what doesn't. Don't try and fix things that didn't work over and over again. Move forward, find out what went wrong, and then do it slightly differently. And that's the energy, being more youthful about it, being more in the playful energy, rather than like it has to be this way kind of thing. Well, like you could wait. I had at one point I had Greg Braden. I was so happy to have him on my radio show twice when I had a radio show, and he was such a gentleman, and he talked about this, about how people can get stuck in this energy of where the whatever happened economically or whatever. All of a sudden, like people will be sitting there and they'll be waiting and waiting for years for it to return to this, but it's this energy. It's not going to return from this. And I always took that as a really strong advice, because, if you're well traveled like he is, and he's saying like he sees this a lot where people get stuck because they think, oh, it's going to come back to how it was, but it's not, and they can't see it. And so that kind of energy moving forward, I feel would be very, very beneficial for a lot of people. I really, really enjoyed this reading. I feel like it's really, really good advice from the universe, timely advice as we move into December and we're almost into 2026. I hope you also enjoyed this energy, and I will be back tomorrow with another reading. Please do like and comment if you have. If you resonate with this energy, consider subscribing. I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. It's an honor that you would. And bye for now. I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to have to get my little kitty off my lap here so that I can turn this. She's like Velcro. She doesn't want me to get up. Bye for now.